Okay, video's on. So we just did the crown pull. So you're pulling, just so you guys remember, because I'm only gonna send this to you. Doesn't have to look pretty for the world. And then you get to your shoulders and you put your little finger, like your middle finger into that triple warmer point, and then take a couple of breaths and then pull it off your shoulders and land on your heart and just breathe. So that one was that one. What else did we do? We did the hug, the triple warm, so spleen and triple warmer to do the hug to calm down, triple warmer and spleen, and get them in the same ballpark. We talked about listening to tunes or vibrations, and that you could search those out and listen to them all night. We talked about leaving your worries on a piece of paper outside the door when you're going into your bedroom, and promising that you'll pick them up in the morning. Some people don't even pick them up in the morning because they're just so relaxed from not having them all night. But you're just like, you're just going to sit right here and wait for me and I'll be back. What else we talk about?
Asking their team to intend for a good night's sleep.
Yes, ask your team, put your intention out there to your multi-dimensional team, however that team is for you, for a really good night's sleep. And that you'll wake up refreshed and vibrant in the morning. One of the times I use that refreshed and vibrant in the morning is, for some reason, I'm not getting the sleep I want. I'm still awake and it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Then I go, all right, it's been a rough night for whatever reason, but when I get up in the morning, I've got a lot to do. So whatever amount of sleep I do get, I'm still expecting to feel vibrant and full of energy tomorrow. So I use that one too. What else? Just so it's on the recording.
The amethyst.
The what?
Amethyst in your bed.
Oh yeah, you can put an amethyst in your bed or close to your bed to really kind of ground you, to be in your bed so you're getting your rest. Was that about it? Mm-hmm. Okay, so now that's all going to be on the recording. Shall we go forward? Does anybody else have, Kelly, do you have a request of something in particular?
No, I don't think so.
That you could use some help with? Well, you can think about it. I'll pick on Jackie.
Certainly the sleep thing is a big one for me, and has been even before the virus. So these are all helpful suggestions I'll implement. And I don't know if I also, maybe the crown, I'm sure the crown pull will help with this, but I think I must tend to hold tension in my forehead, because I find that I don't necessarily feel tense, but I find that I get headaches a lot.
So that crown pull that we just did is amazing for headaches.
Yep, okay.
Amazing for headaches. And I'm thinking of another one for you. I was thinking, I wanted to have it right. There's a couple of steps. So we're going to take our left hand and put it on our heart. We're going to take our right hand and we're going to put it on the side of our head. Maybe I'll even remember what it's called by the time we're done with it. And we're going to take some in through your nose, out through your mouth breaths, like maybe 4, okay? Perfect. Now keep your hand on your heart and take the other hand and put it on the back of your head like this. Then we're going to take 4 breaths. Okay. We'll switch hands. We're going to put right hand, I am right and left hand challenged. I don't know if you know that about me. So you're going to take your right hand, you put it over your heart. I was left-handed until I went to school and they changed me, and I've been a mess ever since. You're going to take this hand and put it on this side of your head. And we're going to take 4 breaths. Nice. And the last thing is we're going to take this hand, leave heart, take this hand and put it on your forehead and take 4 breaths. Bring both of your hands to your heart. Take 4 breaths. How did that feel?
Relaxing.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I have a headache and it's gone down. It's gone down. Yeah. Which
So
is to
what
me
we're
quite
doing,
amazing. Yeah.
yeah, so what we're doing there, I don't remember what it's called specifically, but I do remember what it's doing. It's a good thing they popped that one into my head for me. What it's doing is your cerebral fluid needs to be pumped from the back of the bottom of your spine, because of course your spine is in your back. So from the bottom of your spine, it needs to come all the way up your back and over your head to here. And what happens a lot of times when people are getting headaches is that cerebral fluid, there's a break somewhere in that chain of cerebral fluid, and it's not getting all the way over here. So it does, for a lot of people, they're, again, you know, you just get too much going on in your head, but you're getting headaches or dizzy or something like that. Or you've got some aches or pains along your spine or up into your neck. Some people get it like right to here and it stops. So it's just a really good way to pump that cerebral fluid all the way up through the spine, because it's like the oil for the spine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like this energy that does, you know, I mean, there's people who study, you know, the cerebral fluids in our head, and you know, they do, what do they do? Craniosacral. Craniosacral is working with you know, those sacral energies, which is really fluid that helps the brain and other parts of the body, because it's not just in the brain, but they work a lot around the head, because there's all these fluids around the brain that need to stay very, very active in order for, because our head isn't, it feels pretty solid, but in there's lots of moving parts. Yeah. So it's kind of like the Tin Man needing to have, you know, some oil for the joints. We need to have the oil inside for our brain too. So what it does is it helps to keep your brain healthy, right? So I personally think we should be using craniosacral and things like this to really make sure that that cerebral fluid is being really healthy in people's brains, because what's happening when that isn't happening is that, you know, people become forgetful, and, you know, we've got diseases and names for all of that at this point, right? So if we want our brain and our ability to remember things and all of that to get stronger and stronger and stronger, then that one's just really useful for that. The other thing, Jackie, I think that's going to be helpful for you is figure eights.
Oh.
So, you know, doing figure eights around our eyes helps to strengthen our vision, right? Starts to strengthen our eyes, but it's also pulling the right and the left side of the brain together. Again, to me, it's just really, really comforting and helpful to be doing these figure eights around the eyes. And, you know, with your intention, you're also intending that the right and the left hemispheres of the brain are coming together.
I like that.
Yeah.
I can feel it.
Yeah. Yay.
Good, thank you.
And one last one for headachy kind of too much in the head going on is right here on your bone.
Cheekbone.
Cheekbone? Is it? Yeah, I guess. Anyways, we're going to tap on that. That's a stomach point. And a lot of times when you've got a headache thing going on or too much in your head, if you get on this point, because stomach is a meridian, starts around the eyes and heads right down the trunk of the body and off the outside, inside of the big toe. So as a meridian, it just takes the energy right down the body. So again, if you're a little overwhelmed or you feel like you got too much energy in your head, or even you got a stomach ache, if you get on these stomach aches and just tap them lightly, it starts sending that energy right down the meridian. So this is really helpful for headaches. Another one that a friend of mine who had a lot of migraine headaches used was she would get right here on the sternum, Jackie, or anybody. She would get right here on this point, and she would put one hand on her heart and one on the, and she would kind of push in here. The diaphragm's kind of under there too. And she would just push in here. And again, it would allow for a channel of energy to start letting energy go. So, and because that stomach meridian starts up there around the eyes, it just was allowing for not only if she had like, I've used this one sometimes if I have like a higher stomach ache that's really in the stomach and not the intestines. You know, people get challenges going on in their intestines all the time, but it's really, and call it a stomach ache, but there's, you know, several different big organs in there. But for if you've got a stomach ache or having problem with any digestion or whatever, but it's also really good for headaches, unbelievably so, because it's that stomach meridian.
Okay, great.
Okay,
Thank you.
no problem. I'm back to you, Kelly, just to see if you thought of anything.
Well, wasn't there 2 other places you told me to tap when we had a session, like on my hand, right?
Yes,
On here
yes.
for
So-
anxiety.
So if you have a lot of anxiety or with all this triple warmer energy that's up, if again, triple warmer starts on the ring finger, comes up the outside of the arm, around the scapula and up over the ear and lands right here on the outside of the ear. So if you're having a lot of anxiety or you're having, I use this one in the dentist a lot, because I've spent a lot of time with dentists. And I would just, you know, tap right here. So you're tapping. I feel like I need to show you up here because you're up here and I forget that I'm down here. Sorry. I was lifting my hand up to where your faces were. So you're tapping right between on the fingers with the other hand, of course. And that's a triple warmer place. So you could be having a very intense conversation with somebody on the phone and tapping, and you'll see that it'll keep that intensity coming down, but it's also really good if you've got some anxiousness coming up in your life. And of course, you're going to tap on the other side too, because you don't want to be lopsided. So that one's really good for a lot of tension and anxiety and in the moment, you know, being in the moment. And then another set of points is right here on what they call the karate chop. So in EFT and TFT, they do this like this and they call it the karate point, but you can also just tap it right on the side of the hand. And that's just a really good point to tap to bring anxiety down. Okay, somebody else? I just want to give you guys what stuff that's going to be helpful for what you're going through. So
I guess I carry most of my anxiety and tension in my neck on the left side. But I do kind of covered that in a couple of them.
let me give a thought to that for a moment.
It's super crazy too, because I noticed when I was on vacation, I didn't have any pain there. And I've spent hundreds of dollars on doctors and chiropractors and stuff.
And all
I
you
did-
really needed was a beach and some quiet.
Exactly. Exactly.
So we all carry our burdens on our shoulders, right? Um, it's sort of, I've looked at it as if we've got these garbage bags full of stuff that we're carrying over our shoulders. That's all old stuff. And it gets really weary to kind of carry all of that. So when we were on holiday, we put those bags down because we didn't bring that stuff with us. Particularly, Kelly had a really amazing opportunity to not go with any of her kids. Not that her kids aren't delightful, I haven't met them, but you know, she got to really just go be on an adult vacation and relax. So a lot of, not that all of her tensions are about her kids either, I'm not talking for her, but a lot of people, myself included, when we just get away from the real world and we relax, a lot of that tension that would have been in our shoulders just kind of dissipates because we put those bags down, right? So what we should be feeling in our shoulders is support, right? Unfortunately, women, I'll pick on us for a moment. Women have been carrying the burdens of the world on our shoulders for a really long time. You know, whether that's in our family, you know, I'm the oldest girl of 6. You can just imagine how many bags I had on my shoulders. I'm lucky I'm standing. Because, you know, it was a lot. One mom with 6 kids is a lot. So, you know, I became a mother by the time I was about 8. And had to learn that I didn't need to carry those burdens of my family anymore, and had to like learn that it was okay for me to set those down. So
You could 2-point it or put your
we could 2-point it. Jackie, you've taken Matrix, right?
Yeah, but refresh, because it's been a bit since I've thought about it.
And Kelly, you haven't done Matrix at all, so don't feel like, you know, but you're going to get it when you come to, Kelly's joining in the first quantum class. So you will learn this in more detail. So in Matrix energetics, it says that if you have a problem, then a problem set, then there's always going to be a solution somewhere out there in the field of energy around us. And that's a huge leap of faith, but I've seen a lot of really amazing things happen by using Matrix. So, so that would mean that right now your shoulders, or all of our shoulders, we'll throw all of our shoulders in the mix, okay? And we'll even throw in Jackie's headache. Because it could be coming from her shoulders, right? That there's a solution out there in the universe for all of our shoulders to feel more support and less pain and anxiousness and tightness and overwhelm from what everyone else expects from us. Okay? So that's the problem set. So in Matrix, you would know what the problem set is, and then you would set it aside, and you would say, okay, we know what that is, but we're going to 2-point to something that is not the problem set, but something that's part of the solution, right? Something that's going to be, I wanted to say better, something that's going to be more useful. There we go. Something that's going to be more useful for us, right? You with me so far? So you simply put a finger on your shoulder, and then you can put your other finger I feel like we'll just, because we're kind of working on ourselves, but we're kind of working on each other all at the same time. I think we'll just pick something else out there in our environment to put our other finger toward. So let's start with a color. So again, this might seem kind of weird, Kelly, but just look around your room, because the other two have done this with me already. Look around your room and see if there's a color that you're drawn to, and then just point your finger toward that color, and then you take your breath and you drop it down into your heart, and you sort of are taking both of those points and condensing them down into what we call 0 point field, and we'll just see what happens. So we're not all going to have the same color, but we're all sort of working on each other, because that's possible too. All right, so everybody pick a color, and we'll just hang there with our color for a couple of minutes. So you're just pointing one finger toward the color that you picked. And then you take some nice deep breaths and drop into your heart. I'm getting really, really, really hot, so I'm going to stay here for a minute. If you're losing interest in your color, just pick another color in your room and just move your finger to another color. But I'm thinking that my little pink thing over there and me are having a moment, so I'm going to stay with it. But if you feel drawn to another color, go for it. Okay, come on back. I had a little baby inferno going.
Love that.
But I have had tightness in my shoulders, and mine feel like amazing right now. So thank you for that, Kelly. How is your shoulder doing?
It's doing good. I felt some heat too.
And how about your headache?
It's much less than it was, much, much less. Yeah.
And I don't know, we didn't pick anything in particular for you.
I switched it to my knee and it's good.
Okay.
Do that
I
more
figured
later.
I should have found something for Lindsay, but I knew it was working.
Yeah.
And whatever it was you needed. So thank you for picking something.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's matrix.
So that was 2 point. 2 point?
It's a 2 point. Yeah.
Two.
So you will learn it soon, because that class is starting really soon. There's, a few more details to it, but really it's pretty that simple.
So you touch where it hurts and then you point at something.
Yes.
Okay.
So that something could be a color, which we use today, but it could be other things. But I will share all of that wisdom with you.
I was gonna say, do you always have to point at something with your other finger, or can you sometimes just do the one finger and breathe into your heart?
So here's the part about the 2 pointing and a 2 point is that you're picking one point that's the problem set, right?
Yeah.
And then you're picking another point that's the solution. So
Yeah.
that solution could be something in a color. That solution could be another point on your body somewhere. Remember, we do that too. That point could be a geometric shape. That's the solution. So that's, and we've done some other things, but I don't want to get overly too confusing with Kelly, who hasn't even started it yet. But then we've done things like looking for a window and all of those kinds of things. So the reason for the 2 points is they come together in 0 point field and collapse.
Okay.
Right? Into, there's a solution now. Right? because you're observing the problem set for a second by putting the attention to it, and then you're observing the solution. And in quantum physics, it says as soon as you become the observer of something, it changes, right? That us becoming the observer in something changes it. That's out of quantum physics. So that's why we're picking, we're observing, and then we go into 0 point field where we're not observing anything other than maybe the reaction like my heat. And then we're just letting the energy collapse in that 0 point field and bring whatever the universe would have for the solution, and not what our little tiny mind could think about. You understand that?
Mhm.
Okay. So that's why 2 points somewhere, somehow. So when you're doing windows or something, you've got that point, but the window you're looking for is the second point, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So we still have a few more minutes. Anything else you want to drag out of my brain this morning?
What about
This
the
is fun. I'm really having a good time. Are you guys having a good time?
I'm having fun.
Yeah.
when you said like picking up other people's energy and like, you know, the morphogenic field around the virus, and just learning how to separate and ground throughout the day, and yeah, just so we can get back into a positive vibration space.
Here's a really fun grounding thing I heard the other day, because, you know, I usually put the roots down and whatever, you know, but somebody was suggesting the other day that we could simply close our eyes for a minute and see ourselves sitting on the earth on a ley line. So, you know, a ley line is an energy line of good, yummy energy. So you could think about a ley line, but you could also think about yourself sitting on one of the nodes. So you could take yourself to Mount Shasta. You could take yourself to the to Maui. You could take yourself to Machu Picchu. You could take yourself to any of these beautiful node energies around the planet. You could just pick one that's your favorite. You could go to Stonehenge. So in your mind, you're just gonna sit your, you know, self down right on that ley line, right on that amazing energy, and just melt into it. So everybody, did one of those places appeal to everybody, or do you need a few more suggestions? Or Mount Shasta is one of them. Did I already say that one? All right, so I'm gonna pick one, everybody pick one, and just go sit yourself down and just melt into that energy of that ley line. I might not ever come back, but, you know, I'll try. So as we know, these nodes, or these, you know, sacred places, carry a really high frequency of energy that have all been turned on now. And the node is the place where everything is leaving, right? The node is what's pulling out all the old trauma off of the earth. The node is the place where it's pulling out all the old energies that aren't serving us. So just let that node pull out that energy that's just not serving you, while at the same time you're just basking in the energy of this very high frequency place. Yeah, this is fun. Anybody else having fun? So that's just, you know, one more tool that we can use very quickly anytime during the day to just go plop yourself down somewhere that's very full of yummy energy. And it doesn't take but a minute, and you can just do it over and over and over again. Right? So what was the question? Oh, not getting into the morphic field of what's going on.
Yeah, separating from that and what's not your energy versus other people's, because there's a lot of, I mean, we've all had a lot of stuff going on, and I don't think I'm always really as careful. You mention it, and I always forget every single time of what's yours versus not yours. Like what you said, when you came back from the store and you feel weird, I never think that I should somebody else's energy got picked up. I don't think like that.
I'm gonna show people this on Sunday because I'm doing the Sunday service. One more thing, at Lake Harriet, I feel like I'm like, but that's okay because I asked to be of service, however that was. So I learned this a long time ago, and I don't know if I've ever shown it to you, but you can definitely sit down in your chair, lay down on your bed at the end of the day or at a time in the day when you feel like you're just totally overwhelmed. And if you can grab a hold of a feeling like, oh, I'm feeling so much fear, and then you just concentrate on that fear energy and you just say, what of this is mine? And what of this is not mine? Is any of this mine? Right? So, and drop into your heart and see what the answer for that is. And if you get, yeah, most of this isn't even mine, then you send it back with love and consciousness to wherever it came from, or you send it back with love and consciousness to the earth for her fertilizer, or off to the heavens. I might go off to the heavens, to be more useful. But if you're holding on to fear energy or pain, physical pain in the body, people pick up pain all the time, that's not yours, then it's just making what is yours seem huge. Where was that? Oh, there was this advertisement in New York when I lived there, and there was a guy who was always trying to get the best deal at the car dealership, and so his commercials were like huge. Sorry, I just connected into that. So, but it does feel really big, and it's not all yours. There might be a thimble of it that's yours compared to what you picked up, because remember, like is attracting to like faster and faster and faster now. So the more light we bring in, the more light we're attracting faster and faster and faster. But the more fear we're bringing in, or the more pain we're bringing in, or the more sadness we're bringing in, like is attracting to like. And so let go of that what isn't yours, just by announcing to your team, I'm sending this back with love and consciousness, and help me to do that. And usually you'll feel almost immediately like bricks worth of stuff just kind of leave your field, and you might have a little bit that's really yours, and then just say, okay, I'm gonna sit with this sadness for a few minutes and see what my sadness is about, feel it and let it go, And I think right now we're kind of having to do that constantly, because everything is shifting so quickly around us and bringing in new information and new people's levels of fear and whatever it is. Yeah. So the thing I was going to show people at Lake Harriet that I don't know that I've ever shown here before. I've shown it in some classes, but I can't remember ever doing it, but maybe I have. So it's called dusting. How fun is that? And you just take your hands in your field, if you want to do it with me, and you just dust your field. It's really fun when you're with somebody else and you have them dust your field. But you're just kind of pushing it down to the earth. It's snowing outside. Just pushing. Make sure you get the top of your head. You can go fast, you can go slow. You can go farther out, come in really close. And you're just dusting yourself.
I can feel that as we're doing it.
And sometimes I like to, clap my hands or shake them out or blow it up when I'm done. But again, it doesn't take very long, and it really does clear out your field.
I've been doing that thing that we did where we extended our field. And that's been working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you guys want me to, was this an hour call?
No, this was when the last class at Lake Harriet, the last one that
No,
we
I
did.
meant today. Are we getting up on it? We're about at an hour. Were we supposed to be together for an hour?
2 hours on your thing, but I'm down for whatever you guys need to do.
Wow.
Really?
I thought it said 2 hours on the thing, but
It did say 2 hours, but I thought, wow, that seems very long to me. So
I
I'm not sure.
2 hours. Like,
God, I'm so silly sometimes. Well, anyways, I don't want y'all to be disappointed either. But I'll show you the Celtic weave so you have it on this. So, when you get this video, you can always, scoot through till you get to the part where you want, right? You don't have to sit there and watch the whole thing. That's the other thing. If this video gets too long, it's going to be like huge and nobody will watch it.
okay.
You guys won't even watch it because you'll say, oh my God, I don't have time for a 2-hour video. But I don't want anybody disappointed either on what you're getting today either. So, but let me show you Celtic weave. Sorry, I had a little hair there I had to get rid of. You get to see me in all my glory. Okay, Celtic weave. So we're doing the Celtic weave because we want our aura to be really good and strong. And for some reason, it's just one of those things that people go, I'll never remember that. So I'll just do it for you so that you can do it with me if you want to, so that you'll have it on the video so that in case you want to come back to it and remember it. So our aura is our outer protective system to the world. So again, if you're picking up other people's energy a lot, you want your aura to be as absolutely strong as it possibly can be. Yes? That outer place out there. So, and it needs, your aura needs to be out as far as your fingertips, and it needs to be attached right up to your body, tight. So this Celtic weave will do both of those things for you. And I think it's one of the most important things we could be doing every day right now is to make sure that our aura, which is our outer protective system to the world, is really good and strong. Particularly if you're going to go out. But, don't think you can't get, kind of messed up in the morphic field of all the crazy that's going on just because you're staying at home, because you're listening to stuff, sometimes you're having those conversations with people, you're, maybe watching things on TV, and, that's another way energetically for stuff to kind of start floating in. If your aura is really good and strong and your energy field's really good and strong, you can watch something or talk to somebody about it and it just goes right on through. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't get attached anywhere. Okay? Anybody have any other questions about it before I show it to you? Okay. So you do have to stand up for the Celtic weave, and you have to make sure if you're going to do it with me that when your arms go out like this, they're not going to hit any furniture. So we're going to rub our hands together. We're going to put them on our thighs, and we're going to take a couple of deep breaths. And while you're taking those deep breaths, in through your nose, out through your mouth, you're just going to think about your roots going down into the earth. And we're going to rub our hands together again. And we're going to put them like little tiny cups up on the side of our ears. And you're going to take a couple of breaths. This is up around triple warmer, so it starts calming that triple warmer energy down. As you remember, triple warmer as a meridian comes right around that ear. Both ears, actually. Perfect. Now, I'm going to show you what I'm doing, and I'm going to come back and get you. You're going to take a deep breath, bring your elbows together, and then on your out breath, out with your arms. Is somebody saying something? No? Okay. So, we were here with our cups, and we're going to take a deep breath, cross our elbows over, and on your out breath, you're going to let it go out into your field with a huge letting that breath go, like that kind of letting go. And then we're going to do another one around our waist, so we're going to come together with our elbows and let it go. And then we're going to do another one around your knees and let it go. And then you're gonna scoop up all that goodness from the ground and toss it over your head and wiggle it down. Yay. And that is a Celtic weave. So that sends your aura right out there as far as it can go. Good, strong, healthy energy, and it attaches it right up to your body. The thing it doesn't do is if you happen to have your front and your back of your aura doesn't happen to be together, it won't attach that. So to do that, you would just do figure eights, like you're sewing the front and back of you together. Right along the side seams of your pants and your body. Just sewing that together with some eights. Yay. And that pulls the front and the back together. And then the only other place in an aura where the energy has a tendency sometimes to come in is if you have a weak spot. And so if you have a weak spot, you just need to take your finger and draw figure eight in your weak spot. So let me just check and see how you girls are doing with those spots today. Lindsay, you have one right over your whole like intestinal stomach area.
Oh, yeah.
Right
I'm with that all, yes.
yes. So you would just do figure eight over this whole area. You're sewing it all together,
Okay.
you know, 2 or 3 times a day for about 3 weeks.
Okay.
Get that all sewed up. Because if you have a weak spot, that's where you're bringing in other people's energy more than any other place in your aura. Okay.
I've been struggling with that spot, and I remember even when I've done work and we've done work in the classes, everybody always goes and touches that point first.
Just keep sewing. Yeah. And Jackie. Well, this is interesting, Jackie. You have a spot like right around your throat.
Oh,
You know, so figure eight your throat.
okay.
Yeah. And
That
Miss
actually makes sense. That makes sense to me.
Kelly, you've got 2 spots. One is right over your heart. So lots of little baby figure eights with your finger right over your kind of heart area, heart chakra area. But come up to make sure you're getting the actual heart. And the other one is over that shoulder that you were talking about. So
How long should you do that for?
it doesn't take long. So, you know, it could be 60 seconds to a minute, but you have to keep doing it 3 or 4 times a day for a couple of weeks.
Okay.
And then have somebody check on it for you to see if it's strong.
Yeah.
You know? Kelly, did you get both of those, honey?
I did.
Okay.
I did. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That was cool. I have another request, Carol.
Yes.
It kind of fits right in with this. You taught it one time, but I don't remember it exactly, which is the zip up.
Yes.
You know, to keep our own, or you know, our own selves intact, and try not to take in too much stuff.
Absolutely. So the aura is the outer protective system, and your inner protective system is on your central meridian. So it's your central meridian starts at your pubic bone and comes right straight up your body to the bottom of your bottom lip. And so that central meridian, like no other meridian, is where is very suggestible and allows people to really get into your subconscious mind. And you don't want people in there. So a lot of people who are doing hypnosis can actually use this to their benefit. But again, we just don't want people in there. So while your aura is your outer protective system, your central meridian is your inner protective system. Okay. So to not allow people in, you just take your hand, bring it all the way up the front of your body. And then when you get here, you take a key and you lock it in. And then you take your key and you hide it somewhere where nobody else can find it. And again, before you go out in your day, when you wake up in the morning, you could do a Celtic weave, which takes you, 2 seconds? It really does. And then zip yourself up, lock it in, and then you've got your outer protective system and your inner protective system all set for the day.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. You guys are really good here. You're getting so much good yummies.
Yeah.
And for like immune system, is that all of this stuff just strengthens immune too then?
Very good question. So immune system. If you think about that, part of that is spleen, right? Because she's the mother of the immune system. So we need to make sure that spleen as a meridian and an organ actually are pretty strong right now. So let's run over the thumbs, right? So in Eden Energy Medicine, there's 4 thumbs. So, and all of them are really good for the immune system. So one of them is K27, where you're coming in on your collarbone. So you're taking your hands and coming in on your collarbone and coming down to this little dip right here. You'll kind of feel it with your finger. And that's the 27th point on the kidney meridian. And it happens to be a point where all the other meridians kind of intersect there. So if you tap it, it brings lots of energy into all the meridians, which all the meridians, so the meridians feed the organs. So the meridians need to be strong and healthy right now for everybody. So this one's a really good one. So you can also rub it. If it's tender or sore, you know, I sometimes rub it with my fingers, my thumbs. If it's tender or sore, you need it, okay? So the next one is right over the thymus and the thyroid area. So you know you're in the right place if you go, you can hear that vibration. So apes and all of the other 2-leggeds, you know, pound their little chests, you know, like Tarzan did before they go off to the wall. So what it's doing is it's bringing good vibrant energy into all of your body to tap, being silly, to tap on this thymus thyroid area, right? So that's like the second thumb. And then the third thumb is for spleen. So spleen has 2 places that you can tap on her. I always call her because she is the good mother. Let me back up again. Am I backing up enough so you guys can see me? Because I'm going to need to know that for Sunday.
Looks good.
And you
Good.
can hear me?
Perfect.
Okay. So one of the points for spleen is right over the nipple area, like right on the bra line, right here. And again, you can tap it or you can rub it. And if it's tender, you really need it. Mine's kind of sore. So I'm going to just give it some nice massaging. And then the other point for spleen is over here on the bra line. So you can also rub that one or tap it, you know, whichever. And that's going to pump really great, beautiful energy into spleen by doing that. And then when I first learned energy medicine, there were only 3 thumps and now there's 4. And the other one we've already covered, but it's the stomach one, right? Because that stomach one sends lots of good energy all the way down the front of the body too. So that's going to be really, really helpful with the immune system, like energetically to feed for the immune system. And there's other things that we could do. So I want to show you 2 more things and then maybe we'll come closer to an end. We could just keep going all day. You can keep asking your questions and I keep coming up with things. Sometimes you guys have no idea what's really in this brain of mine. I know I've shown you guys hookup before too, but hookup tends to be one that is so calming for me. And what it's doing is we just talked about central meridian. So central meridian, just to cover this again, starts at the pubic bone and comes right to here. And then there's another meridian called governing that starts back here at the tailbone, comes right up the spine, over the head, and lands right here. And they actually hook up in the back of the throat. And so they all the other meridians are like one big long trail through the body where one stops, another starts, but these two are separate. And they're in a system where they're either going this way or this way. So they need to be hooked up so that they can spin. And sometimes when things get to be too much, or there's a big trauma or something that goes on in people's lives, they get unhooked. And so when they get unhooked, we feel like we're spiraling out of control. This technique is so powerful that it can actually stop a seizure right in the middle of it happening. It's also known by Donna Eden as the first thing that you would do in first aid, sort of in a trauma situation, and I have used it that way, and it is very amazing. Because if there's a trauma in the body, sorry, say like a car accident or something, sometimes people leave their body. You know, we've had them report these instances of, like, I was above my body watching them working on it, you know? So one of the ways to keep someone in, or to keep energy moving in a really good way for people, is to stick one middle finger in your belly button and one middle finger in the middle of your forehead, and you just kind of relax and start breathing, and you pull up on the skin in those areas. So I'm pulling up on my belly button, and I'm pulling up on the skin on my third eye a little bit, and then you just breathe. This one is really, really good. Like I said, it'll stop a seizure. There's a couple of cute stories about energy medicine people stopping seizures, and the person waking up going, "What are you doing? Why do you have your finger in my belly button?" But it'll also, if somebody's really dizzy, this is really good for people who are dizzy, get dizzy a lot, or have a lot of, I forget what it's called.
Vertigo?
Yes, thank you.
Would it help with like migraines and all?
I think it would, actually. I've actually been dizzy a couple of times. Like if I get out of the shower and maybe that heat cool, or maybe I wasn't feeling awfully well, and I'll just sit down on the toilet and stick my finger in my belly button or my forehead until I can get undizzy. And it usually works pretty quickly. I'm talking, but you would just be breathing. And you can do this on someone else, you can do it on yourself. So, that's how.
Is it just a gentle pull up on the skin? It's not like a.
Yeah, I don't have a back glue or anything. It's
No.
just a little bit. Yeah. I have an innie, not that you guys need to know that, so it's really easy for me to put my finger in my belly button and pull up a little. I don't know what the outies do. There was something else I was going to show you after that.
What was that one called?
Hookup.
Hookup?
Hookup. Oh, I remember. So maybe, just maybe, some of us are not staying in our joy energy very well, right? Because there's a lot concerning us going on. So as, you know, I taught a whole class on our circuits of joy. So there's energy circuits of joy in our body, around our body, and we can put our hands on those to really, you know, help us to tap into that energy of joy. It's still there and around us. But sometimes we forget to be in that energy of joy when there's a lot of turmoil going on. So strengthening just one of them can be really, really useful. And I'm going to pick on the belt flow because it's one of the easiest to just do and remember.
What's it called?
It's called belt flow,
Hmm.
B-E-L-T, like belt, like you put it, you know, we used to wear belts. Not so many people wear belts anymore. And I'm okay with that. So, so in doing it, it's gonna, so our meridians are always gonna be like my stomach meridian is gonna be in the same place as Lindsay's and Kelly's and Jackie's. It's just in my spleen's meridians in the same place. So the meridians have a pathway, a very specific pathway, but the circuits of joy or the radiant circuits, they've called many different things, they tend to be able to jump around and bring energy to other places in the body. So that would be really, really good for our immune system right now, right? Because our immune system needs to have some happy joy juices too, because that's why, you know, getting out in nature is so wonderful for us, because when you're outside, you tend to be more in you know, I'm really enjoying this fresh air. I'm really enjoying that spring is opening up. I'm really enjoying, you know, the coolness or the breeze or the sun, or, you know, we tend to be more in those joy energies, right? And so I was going to digress, but I'm not. I'm going to digress because it's fun. So this morning there was a video that was in my Facebook feed about the parks. So you probably don't know, but my daughter is a ambassador for the city parks, state parks, regional parks. There's just too many parks in Minnesota for me to keep track of it all. But basically what she is an artist who's helping, you know, people to be more aware about nature using art. So they did a video because there's been a lot of concerns about, do we have to shut the parks down because so many people are going out to walk and bike and be in the parks, and they're not really all of them distancing, you know, and it's kind of become a problem. And they had to, you know, last week they had to make some decisions. So some of those were to like close the road around Lake Harriet so that people could walk in the road, right? Because there's just so many people on some of the trails, particularly in the city. But they're trying to hold off on making a decision to just close all the parks because, you know, they've already closed like all the buildings and the restrooms and all of that, but they want to keep the trails and things open, you know, in the counties around us and whatever. So they did a video and she put it up this morning and I put it on my Facebook feed. So if you guys are concerned and want people to have good park behavior, you could put it in your feed. Because if they don't, they didn't say it in the video, but if it doesn't start shifting, they will close the parks down.
Mm.
So, but anyways, she did a really good job. And she actually had this sweater on. I thought that was hilarious because I'd already put it on because I bought it for her birthday. And then I happened to get it for Christmas for like even less money than I paid for hers. But I haven't told her I have the same one because she just hates that. But anyways, it was a really good video. So that was me digressing on strange flows. So, and I think some of you have probably watched me, had me do this, but you kind of put both hands back. So it's going to come across your waist, you know, where the belt would have been. So you're starting with both hands kind of as far back as you can reach on one side, and you're going to pull that energy across. And you just keep pulling it across. And you just pull it across. And then you're going to go down the leg of the opposite side where you started. So you're going to go down your leg and off your foot. And then you're going to start on the other side, and you're going to pull the energy across. And you're going to go down the other side. And we're going to do that one more time. So there was a little boy one time when Donna Eden was showing this. So we're going to keep going across the belt area. And he said this little tune. Where's my belt? Where's my belt? My pants are falling down. And that's how you can remember it if you want. And then you start on the other side and you go across. Where's my belt? Where's my belt? My pants are falling down. How fun is that, right?
And that's supposed to help with joy.
That is supposed to help bring your joy level back up, which is going to be really good for your immune system, believe it or not, because, you know, there's all of those serotonins and I don't know, I get so confused with some of those words. But you're supposed to have, you know, good, yummy stuff going on up in your brain, right? To have a really healthy body. And so when we're outside and we're enjoying nature, that's feeding that. And this fun little, where's my belt, my pants are falling down, can help you to do that too. Particularly when it's snowing outside. I'm thinking we are not going to get 8 inches though.
Good.
Not going there. So we're at an hour and a half. Does everybody feel overwhelmed? Too much? Enough? One more dying question?
I do about Lake Harriet, but I can ask you that when we're not on group. I'm just wondering why I can't click on and join any of these. It says that there's like a virtual class, but it just takes me to Meetup.
Yes. Very good question. Lake Harriet has all of their calendar on Meetup.
Yeah.
So none of their classes are in their calendars housed on Lake Harriet's actual site. It's all housed on Lake Harriet's Meetup page. So when you go over, when you're being pushed over to Meetup, it's actually Lake Harriet's Meetup. And there is a button that you can look for that says calendar, and it'll show you just Lake Harriet's calendar of all the Meetup groups and classes. And then you would have to click on the one you wanted to join in on to get the information. And here's one more confusing thing that's going on is like, if you wanted to join my meditation, I'll just use that as an example next Tuesday. You would go to Meetup and you would sign up. And right now, because it's Zooming, it says that it's an online class and do you want to come? And you say yes, and you push the button and it says, oh, you're registered, and you are not.
Right.
You are not registered. So you have to actually, that screen will go away and you have to actually go over and read through, right, the thing for the class, and it'll give you the link to come back to my Book Now page to pay for that class, and then you'll get the link to Zoom. And I know it's a horrible system, but there's no other way that we can really do it, except that I think they need to not be putting on there that, and that's coming from Meetup. Ooh, you know, you registered, but you're not. So I think a lot of people are thinking that they're registered for something and they're not. But it's the only way that, you know, we can have those classes for Lake Harriet, still have a fee so that Lake Harriet can still be making a little bit of money, is to have the fee part there. So I think we're going to lose a lot of people not being able to join in because they're not going to jump through all those hoops.
Can't they
Does
just
that-
send out
does
the
that
link
help?
to your page instead?
Pardon?
Can't they just send out the link to your page instead directly?
You would think.
So I was going to say, for the rest of us, we can just go to your website and sign up that way, because we know how to do, you know, we know we can do that. But
Right.
other folks might not know.
So on my Book Now page, it says Lake Harriet classes, meditations, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even for stuff that's not yours?
Pardon?
Oh,
Even for classes that aren't yours?
No,
You
the
can-
classes that aren't mine, that are only for Lake Harriet, you're just gonna have to, you know, after it says you registered, go over and read the writing to see, do you have to take one more step to pay for it before you're actually registered? Like Lori Wonder has something coming up soon and you have to pay for hers.
Yeah.
Burgette's got a couple of things coming up and you have to pay for hers. I don't know, Lana's got No, Lana's is already gone. I think she did that Thursday, so hers shouldn't even be up there. I don't know. There's not that much up there right now because people just aren't providing it online. But
Right.
Babette's still
Yeah.
providing hers online. I'm still doing mine online. The meditations, Tuesday meditations are still online, are online. But there's not too many other people who are offering anything online.
So like on Sunday now, you're joining somebody else. Is that
So
your-
on Sunday, because they're not charging for that, that's just a service, right? That link information is the link for the actual call is in writing. You don't have to go pay somewhere first. The actual link for the call is in the writing on Meetup for the Sunday one. And if you were on Lake Harriet's email list, you would have gotten an email. It's really kind of funny because, you know, God bless us, we're all trying, right? So I sent Jay an email and I said, here's the thing for the Sunday thing. And at the bottom I said, and we could either mention at the end, you know, that there's a donation button for Lake Harriet, or if you're going to put a PayPal button, you need to let me know where that is so we can send people to it. And he put it in the posting. He didn't just stop at, you know, the write-up from me and Burgett. He put all that in the posting itself and sent it out in the email to everybody. It was like, oh my God. Like he just copied and pasted it, right? He didn't really read down at the bottom that those were more directions for him. But like I said, we're trying our best. It's a lot. Yeah. But it was a good question. Did you get enough clarity on that?
hopefully?
Yeah.
I seem to have all kinds of problems technically. So
On Sunday, you should be able to just go to the meetup page for Sunday, and the link for Zoom will be there. And
On
I have no
Sunday,
idea
yeah.
how many people might come to that. I understand that there's not a lot of people really. Like we were supposed to have the psychic fair tomorrow for Saturday, and you know how that's usually booked. And we offered it online, and the last time I checked, there was one person signed up for one session.
That's
For all of us, one session. So, you know, I think it's just kind of taking a litmus test to where people are in terms of, you know, joining in or spending money on something, you know, whatever. So it's kind of sad in a little bit of a way. I really encourage them to, you know, take all the hoops and get that up online in hopes that some people would sign up that way. But, well, Gary really wanted to do it too, you know, in hopes that some people would sign up. But that didn't happen. Yeah.
So your Tuesday one is through Lake Harriet, this coming Tuesday. That one.
That meditation is my regular Tuesday meditation with Lake Harriet.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So again, you can find that if you don't want to go to Meetup on my Book Now page. And then I'm doing an energy medicine for Lake Harriet, which might be similar to this. I don't know how many people will join. If it gets to be too many, then it's too hard for me to try to figure out how to get everybody's questions answered maybe, but we'll see what happens. And so, but I'd like to kind of run it kind of like we did this one where everybody's getting something that they actually need. So that one is my regular one on Thursday through Lake Harriet. And did I put another meditation up just through me next week?
I think there was.
Okay. Maybe on Wednesday morning?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think so. I can't remember.
I can't remember either right now. So since I was doing Lake Harriet already, it already was in the calendar, I figured I would just kind of let those classes stand for Lake Harriet next week and not do too much myself. And if I'm getting to be too much, you all just let me know. But I just feel like us coming together in, you know, community is helpful for me, and I'm hoping it's helpful for you.
It is. Thank you.
It
very
is the
much.
main thing keeping me going, for sure. Like I'm
Okay.
lost.
All right. So you guys just let me know if it gets to be too much.
Not too much.
And
Very
not
well.
everybody's joining in every time either,
Right.
but you know,
You can choose.
yeah. So, all right.
To get
All
your
right, thank you.
set up, we can pay you. I have to pay you.
I'm glad that you got shut out. And Jackie, I'm so glad that you came back and tried again. I'm wondering how many other people got shut out for today, because that's fixed finally. I thought I had it fixed last time. I thought it was something that in my website that was doing that, but it wasn't. It was in the booker.
Wow, and I thought, well, maybe it was just too booked up, too full of a class, and maybe there was a limit on it. So that's why I sent you an email, and then I'm like, I'm just gonna try this one more time, let it sit for a couple of hours, and came back, and then it worked. I'm like, oh yay!
That's because I was back there going, how do I fix this? It took me a while to even figure out how to fix it. Like,
Oh, I bet, yeah.
you know, because I needed to move it away from the appointments on this very crazy place. I was like, where's that message coming from? Because I tried after Lindsay sent me the thing, I went in there and I tried. I should shut this thing off, right? The video. Where is
So
it?
how come?
And actually, I need to sign off because I have another thing